see. I am the greatest combat actor of all time.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to this episode of Tell the Tape. I'm your host, Henry Cejudo, aka Triple C. And on today's episode of Tell the Tape, I'm going to be breaking down, that's right, the potential matchup of the current champ, Ilia Topuria versus Max Blessed, the BMF Holloway. Guys, this episode wouldn't be possible without our sponsor. Yep, that's right. I'm talking about Aptive. You may be a former fighter. You may be a former wrestler that doesn't like to take no for an answer. Well, guess what, guys? Aptive is for you. They will teach you how to sell. They will house you. They will teach you how to sell. Yes, you will be going door to door knocking, but I know between 17 and 18-year-old kids that are foregoing college, to chase the American dream, making between $500,000 to $1 million. This stuff is a real deal. So you guys make sure to go to Aptive. So you guys make sure to go to summersales.org/CCC because it is time to level up. So here we have it, guys. Ilia Topuria 15-0 versus Max Holloway 26-7. And you talk about somebody who has really fought the who's. Guys, not to take anything away from Ilia Topuria, but Ilia Topuria in reality, he has skipped the line. His toughest challenge, which he did a really good job at beating this guy, but he beat Josh Emmett. He put the brakes on Josh Emmett, and the other guy that I can think of is just that country boy. What's his name? Bryce Mitchell. In comparison to a guy like Holloway, Holloway has fought Gaethje. Holloway has fought Poirier. Holloway has fought Volkanovski on 3 different occasions. He's fought Yair. He's fought the Korean Zombie. I mean, he's fought the who's, and he's put a beating on everybody. The only person that has been somewhat of his kryptonite, which I don't think no more, that's Alexander Volkanovski. To Ilia Topuria, 5 kills, 2 decisions, 8 submissions. To Max record 12 and 2 submissions. Godly, I think there's one thing that people tend to overlook. Ilia's got a submission game. I mean, if you add up all of his fights, he's what is that? That's all of his fights have been finishes. Is that right? Or I think, what am I thinking? My bad. 13 out of the 15 fights that he's had have been finishes, whether either knockout or submissions. 5'8" to 5'11". I tell you what, man, being short is different. Volkanovski, you know how tall Volkanovski is? A whopping 5'6". And what happened? He struggled with Volkanovski. He struggles with shorter guys, and I don't know what it is. He's kind of like punching down or whatever that may be. I go back and think about that fight with Frankie Edgar as well. You know, guys that move and guys that are problematic are the shorter ones. You go height to height with this guy, things tend to change. But then check out the reach. 69-inch, I mean, it's identical. He may, it's same damn reach, same damn length. Age 27 to age 32. I mean, it's crazy to know that how young this cat is, already champ, but also a guy who started in the UFC. I want to say Max was either 19 or 20 when he made his UFC debut, and now he's 32. But you're talking about a good 12, 13 years of just grit, of fighting the absolute best in the world. I mean, man, Max Holloway, the way he's been fighting, if he's able to recapture that bout once again at 45 or even go up and win the bout at 55, I mean, the dude could go down as one of the greatest of all time. But without further ado, I have to break down, that's right, the matador, the man with the rose that likes to give roses, the man that likes to put people to sleep, the current champ right now, Ilia Topuria. Strengths, speed, and power. But in particular, you know what it really is? It's right here. It's his power. Yeah, he's fast. There's a lot of people that are fast, but in particularly those combinations that he likes to hit. He'll go boom, he'll go right hand, body, right hand, or he'll go body, right hand, so that should go back to the body, or he'll come up eventually to catch that uppercut to the chin. He has the thing that Ilia Topuria has that's really scary is just he has knockout power. And when somebody like that has knockout power, the fight makes it that much more dangerous. And this is one thing, man, that people need to realize. like when he did live in Georgia. You know, he is a wrestler. And once you wrestle and you start all these other arts and you start doing all these different, like once you wrestle, then Dan Gable said it best, everything in life is easy. I mean, wrestling's the strongest base. This is why the majority of all fighters who have a current belt, even as of today, come from that certain background. But it's having the ability to use it. And he does have that in his back pocket. If there's one thing that Justin Gaethje should have done and should have kind of brought it out, was it wrestling. He never did, whether he hurt his foot or whatever that may be, but wrestling is key. And not just that, guys, but it's the grit. On top of the power, on top of the wrestling that he has in his back pocket, he has that grit. He is willing and able to go those 5 rounds like it's round 1. We saw with Josh Emmett. It went decision. Josh Emmett's a really hard dude. He's got knockout power. His power is absolutely ridiculous, and it's people know it, but it's really underrated as one of the guys who has that. But he has grit. He was able to show that he could go 5 rounds. He was able to show a lot of that composure too. Even though the fight with Volkanovski only went a couple rounds, you could tell, man, he only gets better. And with the youth at the age of 27, he's only getting better. His confidence. I mean, to knock out one of the greatest featherweights of all time, if not the greatest featherweight of all time, I'm still gonna have to give it to Jose Aldo because numbers don't lie. So Volkanovski was close to becoming the greatest featherweight of all time, but you can't do that. You cannot count Jose Aldo, even though he did beat the best featherweights. Numbers don't lie. But his confidence, his Ilia Topuria's confidence of him getting rid of people, and especially at that fashion, you know what happens? You only get more confident. And right now, he knows that Max Holloway's, he has that target on his back. He's only going to have to level up and get better. But let's talk about Ilia Topuria's weaknesses. That could be potential weaknesses against a guy like Max Holloway. And this is one thing too, the same thing with Gaethje. Gaethje fell in love with his hands a little too much, to where he became an entertainer, which is cool, man, he's the favorite fighter's favorite fighters. I mean, how many times do you get a chance to really say that? But when you fall in love with the hands a little too much, you forget that if you never add the wrestling stuff, and then you start to add the wrestling stuff, like you're not gonna really understand that threshold. So as good as his hands are, against a guy like Max Holloway, you're gonna need a little bit more than that, because not even Gaethje at 5'11" could pretty much touch his chin. He's gonna have to do a lot of double fakes, which is something that Gaethje could have done to be able to kind of reach him, because Max is going back, and it's not boxing. Like these guys are an MMA fighting, like they're evading completely. And this is another mistake that Justin did in that fight. They dip, and it's a natural reaction. That side kick that Holloway has been at it, and he's been hitting that a lot more. He did that fight against Alan Arnold. I mean, he's bringing that side kick that's really dangerous. That we had the ability, if you do hunch down, as you do, if that thing catches your nose, you're not gonna have the ability to breathe against a guy that's tenacious. The guy's gonna be on you the whole damn time. And it's not so much that he lacks the head movement, but because he likes to stay in that pocket too much, he's gonna have to really probably use it a little bit more. Boom, 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 and then move. Boom, 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 and then move. Because this dude's hands are crazy, and just kind of pinpointing that. But not just that, but he also has everything to lose. I mean, he's meeting Messi. I mean, he's meeting the president of Spain that already granted his citizenship. I mean, he's meeting all these high-profile people. I mean, the celebration of him winning at 145 pounds, I mean, I hope that can kind of come to an end, because travel's a bitch. Travel will hinder your performance. And it's more the fact that you're traveling, you're on a plane, you're going somewhere else. It's almost like you're being in a seated position a little too long. So this is someone where Ilia's gonna have to really make those decisions on how long he wants to parade for. But I will say this, he has everything to lose, everything to lose, because he's gonna be going up against a guy that is super lethal and that is super dangerous. Man, I tell you what, guys, I'm glad. There's a reason why the Triple C I never really picked on Max Holloway. One, because he's fucking tall as hell. And then two, man, he's got grit, man. He's got grit like you wouldn't believe it. He won't stop. You know what I'm saying? Like, think about it. Think of what he was able to take Gaethje, where Gaethje likes to take people to deep waters, what he was able to do. I mean, that says a lot about Max Holloway. But let's talk about his strengths. Max Holloway's strengths, it's his striking combinations. Is he the best boxer in MMA? Man, according to what I saw, guys, throws a jab, he uses his reach, he takes chances. He is the best boxer in MMA. His striking combination, he'll go high, low, he'll go high, low to eventually throw that right hand, or he'll go low, and then he'll go low, high, and eventually catch you. But not just that, and it's not just boxing, it's now adding those side kicks. I was super impressed when he fought Arnold Allen, whatever that may be. And he started throwing those kicks, and I've always said it, when this man starts throwing more kicks, it makes him that much more dangerous. And he also comes from a wrestling background as well. But it's really, in reality, this could probably be number one. Number one. Dun-dun-dun. It's his cardio. His cardio is absolutely no joke, man. And not just that, but it's also his durability. Did you guys see Justin Gaethje kicking that leg out, kicking him? The dude was still standing. I mean, who does that? Justin Gaethje has broken everybody with those damn leg kicks, but not Max Holloway. So the combination of his cardio, he understands his threshold. He's a lot like Merab. Like, they understand, like, where they don't necessarily deplete it, but he's a bit like Merab, but with more power and a lot more dangerous. And going 5 rounds for him is nothing. You should almost make, for Max Holloway against anybody, you should almost make it a 12-round fight of 5 minutes, because that's the type of damn cardio that he has, man. You know, he's I want to check his DNA, because he might be Mexican. He might be Mexican too. And his confidence, you know, this last fight has taken him to a stardom, and the way that he did it to a whole nother level. I'm talking about movies. Like Max Holloway has the ability to do a lot of things, man. And I think you know, his confidence of the performance that he did do at 155 pounds, and the last time he fought at 155 pounds was against Dustin Poirier, and that was like on a 2-week notice. And what he was also able to do to Dustin around that time says a lot. I mean, the sky's the limit for this cat. Well, let's talk about Max Holloway's weaknesses. I think, if anything, because he doesn't use his wrestling enough. I mean, this is where I think of, you know, guys like Islam Makhachev. They're probably licking their chops, because they know that this dude's really good in the striking department, but where is it that I could take it in the wrestling? His stance. I mean, you guys hate it or not, dude, as good as he did look, that lead leg is still there. That lead leg was being chopped down, and Justin Gaethje did a really good job of doing it. He just needed to do a little bit more, you know? So I think his lead leg, you fight a guy like Dustin Poirier. Dustin Poirier's gonna attack it. He's gonna attack it. And Dustin Poirier, in reality, he's got heavy hands. And when he does get pressed, and he's gotten a lot better at it, I think people are looking to pretty much press him. But then again, if you do press him, now he has that boom, that spinning kick, which is dangerous. But he's gotten a lot better from being pressed. But if I'm a guy like Ilia Topuria, it's almost better to just press forward and get this guy going backwards. And he fights everybody the same. Could he add a little bit of this? You know, but that's also what makes him good too. Like, he has that ability. Like, he has that ability to win as of right now. But against those fights with Volkanovski, he never really made a lot of transitions where that cost him that fight on 3 different occasions. Obviously, the Justin Gaethje fight is different, but Ilia Topuria is gonna expect you to come in and go high-low and do all this. Like he's more than likely gonna counter you. Can you even bring the takedowns in against a guy like Ilia Topuria? So here we have it. Stats. Ilia Topuria, strikes landed per minute, 4.40 against Max Holloway, who actually has the striking damn record at 7.17. Strikes absorbed per minute. You know, in other words, the defense. Ilia's good here, man. Ilia does have a good job of just blocking. I think the only time that he really needs to move his head is when he's in that pocket, because Max Holloway will throw those knees up the middle. You know, strikes was, you know, he takes more risk. He's a risk taker. Max Holloway. Takedown accuracy, 56% for a guy like Ilia Topuria, which is really good because he's gonna need it against a guy like that. If you cannot finish him, with your hands, you're gonna have to add that wrestling. You're gonna have to start that wrestling now. You know, takedown defense. Woo, I love the fact that this is almost like, you know where this fight's going. This fight, I mean, I think if I'm gonna give the wrestling advantage, I'll give it here, but not so fast too. I mean, look at this. This is high, guys. Try to take this dude out. Try to take down Max Holloway. Submission average. Ilia Topuria. I mean, through paper, I mean, it seems like you want to favor a guy like Ilia, but in reality, the guy who probably has better percentages, other than the takedown defense, is this guy right here. He's fought the who's who's. We go back to, he's fought Gaethje. He's fought Yair Rodriguez. He's fought the Korean Zombie. He's fought Volkanovski 3 times. I mean, he's fought McGregor. He's fought them all. He's fought Alexander Volkanovski, knocked him out, and he's fought Bryce Mitchell and Josh Emmett. I mean, in comparison to the resume and the people and the experience that a guy like Max Holloway has, man, it's absolutely crazy. I mean, who's more likely going to win this fight? Woo! The person that really needs to make adjustment in this fight, and it's crazy to say, is this guy right here. You know, Ilia Topuria is gonna have to be the guy who's gonna have to make adjustments, because if the hands don't work, what's next? Now, this guy's kicking, side kicking. Not saying that he's not either, but I think you take a page from a little bit of Justin Gaethje. Attack the lead leg. Use those hands and eventually add the wrestling. This was things that Justin wasn't able to do. And if I'm Max Holloway, even though one of the he fights everybody the same, you know, this fight, be who you are with good distance. And those 5 rounds for you are like nothing. You have more championship experience than a guy like Ilia. So it's crazy to say the guy with power actually has to make those adjustments, because the guy with the chin and the guy that is able to fight guys at 155 pounds and get rid of them is absolutely nasty too. I don't know who's gonna win this fight. I think as it gets closer, but I will say this, the person that needs to make adjustment is Ilia Topuria. You know, before you guys start trolling over here. And this episode is brought to you by the one and only Aptive. Again, guys, if you're a former fighter, former wrestler, if you're just getting out of high school and looking to make a whole lot of money, well, guess what, guys? Aptive is for you. They will literally teach you how to sell. Yes, you will be going door to door knocking, but guess what, guys? I know kids out of high school that are making anywhere between $500,000 to $1 million a year. Again, guys, so if you guys are interested, you guys make sure to go to summersouth.org/CCC, because it is time to level up. Till next time, Triple C is out.